see, we really must believe. Believing is seeing. Blessed are they that have not seen and yet have believed. Oh, blessed are they that have not seen and yet have believed. I take your promises to be real. I expect them to come true. And I know in your own time they will come into view. No light from hell can never take me away from you. Jesus Christ, I believe that you have set me free. Believing and seeing, we really must believe. Believing and seeing, blessed are they that have not seen and yet have believed. Oh, blessed are they that have not seen and yet have believed. Welcome. Ooh. I'm Jean Dean, and it's Tommy Washington. We want to inspire you with our show. So come and join us. Blessed are they that have not seen and yet have believed. Oh, blessed are they that have not seen and yet have believed. I take your promises to be real. I expect them to come true. And I know in your own time they will come into view. No light from hell can never take me away from you. Jesus Christ, I believe that you have set me free. Believing and seeing, we really must believe. Believing and seeing, blessed are they that have not seen and yet have believed. Oh, blessed are they that have not seen and yet have believed. Oh, blessed are they that have not seen and yet have believed. Oh, blessed are they that have not seen and yet have believed. Oh, and yet have believed. Oh, and yet have believed. Oh, and yet have believed. Hi there, I'm Jean Dean, and we have Ann Michelle Ellis here from CASE, which is the Coalition Against Sexual Exploitation. How you doing, Ann Michelle?
Very well, thank you.
All right, well, let's just leap right in here, okay?
Sure, yeah, absolutely.
I have your brochure, And there's a part of it that just leapt right out at me. It's a multidisciplinary response to the commercial sexual exploitation of children. Now, the word commercial just sent chills up, commercial and exploitation of children. Those two combinations just blew my mind. So would you just talk to me about commercial sexual exploitation of children?
Sure. Yeah, absolutely. And it's just what you're thinking. It's really business. It's a business at its very core. It operates based on supply and demand, and the money is made through the sale of children and sex with children. So while people probably understand a little bit more about sexual exploitation, we understand about child abuse, and people are talking about it more these days than they did in years past. The commercial sexual exploitation of children takes it one step further, in that it's somebody that's profiting in some way off of selling sex with a child. Now, that doesn't necessarily always have to be a cash exchange, although it often is. That can be a parent who's trading sex with their child to pay the rent or for drugs and those kinds of things. So lots of different ways that it can happen, but it absolutely is a business.
It's an awful business. Okay. Here it says, what are the potential indicators of trafficking and exploitation? What came to my attention, presence of an older boy or girlfriend, and withdrawal or lack of interest in previous activities, tattoos and branding that indicate ownership. Can you speak to those?
Sure, yeah, absolutely. So some of the things that we let people know in terms of red flags and indicators, because there are lots of stereotypes about prostituted people, what they look like, what kinds of families they're from, who they are, and those aren't always accurate. And so we want to make sure that people understand some of the warning signs. Some of them come before the trafficking actually begins, and there's a period of recruiting, of courting between the trafficker and the child. And those things can include an older boyfriend or girlfriend. Sometimes it's a 15-year-old girl who's saying that her boyfriend is 20 or 25, which we understand is wrong for all sorts of reasons, but sometimes we don't think about it being possibly a trafficking situation. The tattoos and branding come in a little bit later, and so oftentimes that's not something that happens right away, but eventually this trafficker is going to try to communicate not only to the victim, but to anyone who sees her, that this is his property. And so that's what the tattoos are about. The tattoos are generally maybe the trafficker's street name. They're not usually his real name, of course. He doesn't want anybody to know his real name.
Yeah.
But a symbol, let's say a crown or a dollar sign or a music note or something like that, that really indicates to other traffickers, but to the public in general, that this is his property. They're usually in pretty visible areas, so along the neck. We're seeing more and more young people come into juvenile hall with tattoos on their jaw, either a name or some sort of symbol along their jawline, the upper thigh, the chest area. Sometimes when you ask them about it, oh, what's that tattoo about? They'll say, oh, it's my uncle, or it's my daddy. Sometimes it'll say daddy on it, which is what they're supposed to call him, and see him as a father figure. And then branding as well. So not only tattoos, but taking it to the next level, where they'll take something that's metal, say a metal hanger of some sort, and form it into a symbol of some sort, put it over a fire, and actually scar the person or brand them like really nothing less than cattle.
Yes, and are there parents involved anywhere with these children?
Yeah, that's a good question, because I think a lot of people would say, well, gosh, if this was happening to my child, I'd be out there doing everything I possibly could to bring that child back into the family and address some of the issues. And I wish I could say that was true for a lot of victims. Unfortunately, what we see is just the majority of people who end up in these situations come from backgrounds that are dysfunctional at best, and abusive really in most of the cases. 80 to 90% of victims of sex trafficking have been sexually abused as children. And so oftentimes that sexual abuse starts in the home. A lot of them are removed by child welfare. They did a study recently in Los Angeles. I thought it was really interesting. They took a look at all the children who had come in to the juvenile justice system on charges of prostitution, and tried to trace back and where were these kids from, where were they coming from. And over half of them were coming from the foster care system. So these are children that are vulnerable in some way.
Already?
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, they're already out there.
Yeah.
and acting out and trying to make their own little lives better. Because I've heard the foster care system is limited at best, is what I'm hearing.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
I'm so excited when I think about the Lord. Oh yeah, and I'm so delighted and overjoyed. Alright, and I'm so excited when I think about the Lord. Alright. And I'm so delighted and overjoyed. Oh yeah, well, I was down for a mighty long time. Then Jesus came into my life. Something came over me. He's the one that set me free. Now that he's by my side, I feel so alive. I'm so excited when I think about the Lord. Oh yeah, and I'm so delighted. I am so overjoyed. Alright, and I'm so excited when I think about the Lord. Alright, and I'm so delighted and overjoyed. Alright, well, Jesus is the strength of my life. Whom shall I fear? When the devil came near, Jesus appeared. I don't have to worry about sin no more. I got Jesus, and I know something came over me. He's the one that set me free. Now that he's by my side, I feel so alive, and I'm so excited when I think about the Lord. Alright, and I'm so delighted and overjoyed. Alright, and I'm so excited when I think about the Lord. Alright, and I'm so
Hi, I'm Jeff McCarty. People call me Jeff the Great. It all started off as a joke, like as an email joke, but so many people call me that, I go by that now. And I'm a musician. I play all over Southern California, I've played around the world, have written songs, produced songs. You'll find me at a lot of different places. You name it, you'll see me playing keyboards, and I play guitar as well. Also a music director for several churches, but currently I'm director at Prim Tabernacle in Pomona. And I love doing gospel music, church music. It's one of those things that edifies the soul, and it also helps me to connect with the people and gives me joy to see that people get spiritual and life joy from the music. And one of the things I'm working on, I've been working on for a long time, but I'm working on a new show. And that is JTG's Legends Concert. And JTG stands for Jeff the Great. And it's Legends Concert. And I do concerts that feature legends of the music industry. Most of the people I feature are passed away, and we bring people who are living now, some of the greatest talent in the world, to come and represent those people, whether it's singing or playing an instrument. We do people such as Barry White, Lou Rawls, Marvin Gaye. He's one of the top shows that we do. We do Motown shows, we do artists such as James Brown, and we do some living legends too, like Stevie Wonder, like Gladys Knight, Aretha Franklin. So that's one of the things that I'm really proud of, because it's a show that's been growing and growing over the years. It's enabled me to bring in artists who people never heard of and are just surprised how they can bring to life some of these legends that either are not touring or has passed along. Part of that legend show is we do a tribute to Black History Month, and we do that every June. We got one coming up and this June 5th, June 6th, and June 7th. And this tribute show is the legend show, but it also includes the historical perspective of African American music, how it has affected America, how has it affected the world. I've traveled to many countries throughout the world, and whenever I hit any new country, I hear African American music, or I hear people who are playing, musicians who are influenced by African American music. And that's the reason I always put on a show for Black Music History Month, and that was deemed years ago as a presidential declaration. So that's a big part of what I do in terms of the music. I mean, it goes much further than that. I write and I produce, and I arrange on a weekly basis. But that's who I am, Jeff the Great. You can find me at jeffthegreat.com. And on our shows, and we have about 5 to 6 legend series. Each series is about 3 days. We have about 5 or 6 of those a year. And it's always a great opportunity for, individuals and businesses and institutes who want to meet and connect with those people who love those shows. It's an opportunity for people to sponsor. Look for the legend shows. Look for me. Look for my friend and my patriot in music, and that's Jean Dean. She comes to our legend show. She'll film them. She'll perform. She comes to me at Prim Tabernacle to perform. So I look to see you sometime soon.
Hi, this is Jean Dean, and this is Gary Lett. That work that you just saw, that incredible work, is called what, Gary?
Under His Protection.
All right. Gary V. Lett. Can you talk to us about Under His Protection? That's an incredible piece there.
Thank you. It's ceramic, that's clay. And I did a biblical series of 12 sculptures, and that's one of 12. And this particular piece is symbolic of being under the protection of Christ. Mm-hmm. And the small model is the maquette, the first rendition of the larger one. And I wanted to have glass wings made for the large one, but I haven't been successful in having those made yet.
Is that a medium that you're used to working with artistically?
Yes, ceramic seems to be more natural. I do draw and paint, but forming in clay seems to come a lot easier.
What about glass?
Well, glass, that's a whole another beast. I would not do the glass.
Oh, okay.
But I have already sculpted the wings, and then I would need to take them and have them casted and then poured. Yeah.
Okay, could you pick that up right there, this
Oh,
your
sure.
mock-up, and give us hold it up so we can take a good look at that. This is the same thing here.
Correct.
It's the exact same thing,
Yeah, just
except
without the wings.
Okay, and these are wings that are covering over this figure with the cross. Huh?
Right. It's almost when you think of the Ark of the Covenant, when you see maquettes and drawings, you see the cherubim wings.
Uh-huh.
And so, although they're angel wings that protect, but it's all based around Christ, really.
Okay. All right. Well, these are some very sensual angels here. Do you realize that they're very sensual looking girls here?
Well, you know what? There's nothing wrong with that.
Well, obviously not to you.
That's how you and I got here, of course, right?
Give your email address for your book. Let's talk briefly about your book. We're almost out of time.
Yes, certainly. This is a children's book that I wrote and I illustrated, and it's called Gary and a Box of Salt.
Okay, and it's about you.
It's about me. It's a little autobiographical book in reference to an event that occurred when I was 10 years old in elementary. Yeah, the school was collecting food for poor families, and I took the note home to my mother, and she told me we didn't have any extra food to give, but I wanted to give, and I walked into our pantry, and all we had on the shelf was a single box of salt.
Okay.
So I wanted to help out, so I took the only thing we had, that single box of salt, and that's generally what the book is about, and about family and good, wholesome living.
Well, that's wonderful. And you are published? Are you in the library?
No, right now I'm getting ready to seek funds on Kickstarter.
Okay.
And I do have an email address in regards to Gary and a Box of Salt. And the email address is Gary and a Box of Salt at yahoo.com. So go on Kickstarter and you will help me to publish Gary and a Box of Salt.
I think it's a wonderful, wonderful book. I think your work is astonishing.
Thank you.
And we will do something else with you again. Thank you for coming, Gary D. Lett.
Well, thank you for having me, Mrs. Dean.
When I met Jesus, didn't understand how what he did could fit into my plan. I realized I had driven sin. He said song for Bobby Jones in Nashville, Tennessee, BET Television. I'm gonna do this again. You know we can't go forward while we're looking back. No, 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 no. We can't go forward while we're looking back. Oh no, oh no, no, no. Our elders used to sing a song like this. Ain't gonna let nobody turn me around, turn me around. Ain't gonna let your looking back. Nobody turn me around, turn me around. We gotta keep the fire burning, the flames of righteous show the way. We gotta keep the fire burning that leads us to a better day. We gotta keep the fire burning, the flames of righteous show the way. We gotta keep the fire burning that leads us to a better day. Look to the light, people of the future, to guide us through the stormy sea. But keep an eye behind the shadow, all those who stop you from being free. Stop you from being free. We gotta keep the fire burning, the flames of righteous show the way. We gotta keep the fire burning, that leads us to a better day. Oh, thank you. Yes, thank you for joining us. I'm Jean Dean, and with my friends Jeff McCarty, Tommy Washington, Reuben Brewington. Thanks to our inspiring guests. So we want you to to be inspired to help someone. We want you to be inspired to love our earth. So till next time,